WandaVision returns with its 4th episode that opens up the entire story for the general audiences and confirms a few of the things I'm sure comic book fans and MCU fans knew were coming. The first thing I'm sure people will realize is that Wanda and Vision aren't really in this episode. Instead, we get the last 3 episodes from Geraldine's perspective, or should I say Sword Agent Monica Rambeau, who has been sent to Westview 3 weeks after returning from the snap on what she and FBI agent Jimmy Woo think is just a routine missing persons case, but soon they learn it's a lot more than that as an entire town has disappeared. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be very happy with the return to something a little more quote-unquote traditional, in the sense that it's a little bit more formal in how this episode is presented. It's just like a normal TV episode. I know I enjoyed watching what was essentially a behind-the-scenes episode for the past 3 episodes. We saw everything that was transpiring off-screen, which I really enjoyed. It was great to see Randall Park make a return as Jimmy Woo, and also a return to him doing close-up magic, which he seems to have gotten very proficient at. I also liked that he was still a little bit of an oversharer like we saw during Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it led to some pretty funny interactions with Kat Dennings' Thor character Darcy Lewis, who has been bumped up a considerable amount from the quippy background character to a pretty important role in the plot, being that she is the one to deduce that Wanda is somehow doing these broadcasts through old broadcast signals, and it's literally all tied into the universe making this happen. Of course, Monica Rambeau is definitely the star of this episode, as we see her return from the snap right from the get-go. Then also learn that her mother has tragically passed within that 5-year gap, and that she has been demoted in the ranks of SWORD, which itself has also changed up what it deals with to better protect the world in a post-Avengers and Thanos universe. Getting to experience the blip was really quite wonderful and a little terrifying. I loved the frantic, chaotic nature of it all, with people just running around a hospital not knowing what to do or what is going on and why all these people are coming back now. I hope we actually get to see more of that in other pieces of media throughout the next phase of the MCU, since we only saw one hospital and I can't imagine what it would have been like in other places. Vision and Wanda's minimal parts in this episode were expertly handled. Again, much like the episode, their roles filled in gaps we saw in the previous 3 episodes, specifically what Wanda did to Monica at the end of last week's episode. Elizabeth Olsen again brings her A game, and I love this tonal shift in character she does from happy 70s Brady Bunch wife to stone cold killer witch. It's just fantastic, and it just happens in the blink of an eye. The constant aspect ratio changes from 4:3 to 16:9 and then back again were also so well placed in the episode, adding to the intensity of the scenes, specifically this one with Wanda and Monica. Vision's role this episode also raises quite a few questions, since we actually see his corpse, like his proper black and white corpse with a big hole in his head, implying that maybe Wanda is puppeteering his corpse around, or at least trying to reanimate him in some warped way. WandaVision episode 4 just blew the lid off this whole show, opening up the story not just for the show but for the MCU as well, filling in some gaps and creating some even more interesting questions and plot points that could be explored within this show, within other shows, or most likely in upcoming movies. Elizabeth Olsen, Teyonah Parris, Randall Park, and Kat Dennings all did a superb job, all bringing their absolute best to continue to tell an utterly strange and fantastic story that gets weirder and weirder with each week that passes, and I cannot wait for the next episode. I'm going to give WandaVision episode 4 a 10 out of 10.